Hello, tribe, and welcome to another awesome conversation. As you know, we are hosts of the Flourish Media Conference in Miami, Florida, every single February, focused on branding, visibility, and funding for your small business. And in the midst of things, as we grow this, and if you're watching this on the replay, make sure you put hashtag replay down in the comments. Make sure that you say hashtag replay if you are watching this on the replay. If you are watching this on YouTube, hello. Thank you for being here. Make sure you drop a comment so that we know that you're enjoying this and we know who to bring on so that you can get to know some other awesome women within our tribe. So on Facebook, you may guess that I am quite active. And one of the groups that I am active in and is owned by this beautiful woman that you see here today. So I want to introduce you to her because we've been building this tribe over the last several years and hosting the Flourish Media Conference in Miami, Florida, connecting angel investors to funders. We talk to a lot of people. It's no small thing to raise $15 million to invest into businesses that are owned and operated by women. And I want you to know that you might know an investor and you might have a vision for what an investor is, not understanding that it looks like this woman right here. She is an investor and speaks to those women who want to understand and have, intelligent, profitable investments. And what a perfect group, our intelligent, profitable investor group on Facebook. So if you could introduce yourself and tell us the name of your group, a little bit about what you got going in the online space.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you for that introduction. Yes. So my name is Katiana Carre. I'm originally from Haiti. And I don't have the rags to riches story. I actually was doing quite well in Haiti. My parents were part of the elite. And because of that, we were a target, right? And so we had to leave we had to leave Haiti in order to come here for more safety. But the culture shock was okay. Obviously, the Haitian culture versus the American culture, that was one culture shock. But then the income level was another culture shock for me. And I was used to getting it all, to like hearing no, to hearing we don't have the money, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm not used to this life. I need to understand how money works in this country. That was one of the biggest things with my parents. They knew how money worked in Haiti, but they didn't understand the monetary system here in the US. And so fast forward, I ended up teaching myself how to become a day trader. I traded the stock market. I made a lot of money and I lost a lot of money. I made a lot of money and lost a lot of money. And so I was like, okay, let me go get my master's in finance. And so I got my master's in finance and I paired the education that I got from my master's into my real life experience, and I decided that I was going to empower women. I was going to empower women and make them realize that these guys on Wall Street who I was in class with, right? They're not that special. They just know what's going on. They understand the world of investing, while we are intimidated by it, right? We look at a stock chart and we're like, oh, heart monitor, I don't know what this means. And then we immediately decide that it's too hard and we go about our day and never even look at it, right? And so the intelligent profitable investors was established to demystify the world of investing in order to give women confidence, right? When you understand something, you walk differently, you talk differently, right? Even some of my clients will tell me like, hey Kat, I went to a holiday party and for the first time when the guys were talking about stocks, I could hold my own. I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about, right? That's where the word intelligent, right? Intelligent, meaning you understand what's going on. You're not intimidating. It's demystified for you. And profitable, right? There's a lot of talk about investing, a lot of different YouTube videos that teach you how to turn a dollar into $1 million. And a lot of these people are not profitable, right? And so the point of investing is to make your money work harder than you do, right? And so you want to be profitable. You don't want to be chasing your investments, losing every 5 seconds. You want to be profitable. And so that's why I started the group. I know that was long-winded, but that's the answer.
I mean, we want the deeds. We want the tea. And so who are you, before we get into the questions, who are you outside of intelligent, profitable investors?
Who am I? I like that question. I am an explorer. I am a healer, right? I am a visionary. I am a leader, right? I am a pioneer. I don't know if you know if you guys know, but I've been traveling the world all year. I picked a different country or a different city every single month to not only visit but to also look for investment opportunities, right? Such as buying real estate, such as getting into governmental projects, and so on and so forth. So startups, when there's a startup in Colombia, it was the first $1 billion startup that came from Colombia. And guess what? It's a version of Uber Eats. It's a version of Postmates. It's called Zappy, or I forgot the name of it. But yeah, it's a $1 billion company, but it started in Colombia and they're following the same model as an American company. So I wanted to find opportunities like that. So yeah, to answer your question, I'm an explorer. That's the one word to describe it.
I love that. And at Flourish Media, we talk a lot about building your joy focused business. And don't you see how excited she is to talk about her business, about the people that she supports, and the freedom that she has within the business because it is structured in such a way that allows for her to do the business, but travel all over the world. And that's what we're talking about. And so I have a question for you when it comes to the fact that with the Flourish Media Conference in Miami, Florida, we focus on branding, visibility, and funding. And so what role does branding play in your business today?
It's funny. I actually am in the process of rebranding. That's so crazy that you asked that. I'm actually going to be changing the name, believe it or not. It's going to be called International Wealth Builders Society, right? Kind of the same theme there, just more abroad because I want to incorporate the international investing in there as well. Branding, it allows people to feel something, when they see Katiana Carre, or they see intelligent profitable investors, or they see your material, they already feel something. And then that's how they talk about you when you're not in the room, right? Like I have people who tell me, oh, I told a friend about you and they're already following you, and we were talking about your content and this and that. So clearly they're talking about me while I'm not in the room, right? And so that's what branding does. And it also gives you credibility. And there's a listen, in the finance world, especially in the cryptocurrency world, because I do dabble into cryptocurrency, there's a lot of scammers out there, right? And it's not to scare anybody, it's just to talk about the reality. And so I actually just got off the phone with someone and they were like, yeah, I gave them all of my Bitcoin and it went up to 130K, and now I'm trying to get some of my money and they won't give me any of my money. And I'm like, okay, did you check out the website? Did you look for headquarters? Did you do this? And so she was like, yeah, they're all over social media. And so believe it or not, your branding gives you that credibility. Like because she saw them on social media, she automatically said, oh, they're credible, right? She didn't even have to look any further, and that was like an example of how that bit her in the what. But at the end of the day, the point is the branding gave the company that credibility for her to just believe them. So branding does that for you for sure.
And when it comes to your branding, what part of your branding are you the most proud of?
I think my voice. I think because the thing is with the finance world, it can get boring. I know you're in the finance world as well, right? And you do such an amazing job to help women feel confident and hey, I can actually get investors to invest in my business. I love that. Okay, but when it comes to the stock market, I'm going to tell you that stuff can get really boring. Okay, and so I give it that spunk. I give it that splash of color, right? Even though I'm in the process of rebranding here, you see that yellow, that like loud, I give it that aspect. I think that answers the question. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely does. And when it comes to the things when you are pitching your business to an investor and being able to speak confidently about your business, that branding is so important. I remember when I had the opportunity to walk away from corporate, one of the first projects that I worked on long term was a beauty brand, and they were struggling to get into major retailers. And they hired me because they wanted to get inside of Target. And I'm sorry to say, we never did get into Target, but we did get into Burlington Coat Factory, Walmart, and CVS stores. Mm-hmm. But the buyer from Target, one of the main things that they said is that, when we look for you in the online space, we don't see see people asking for your brand. And that is how we decide what products we want to put on the shelves inside of our Target stores. And so I ask you, what role does visibility play in the way that you are operating your business?
Ooh, very good question. I like you're coming in hot with the questions. Okay. Visibility, that's something that this goes back to the mindset. I teach a lot of mindset because part of being profitable is allowing yourself to be profitable, right? Because all of the money that you want already exists, right? How much of it are you allowing yourself to receive, right? And so it's the same, yes, with money, but I'd say it's the same with visibility. All of the visibility, sorry, I was just thinking too fast, right, is already out here, but how much of it are you allowing yourself to receive, basically? And for a very long time, I was in my head, and I had my insecurities where I wanted to stay small, to stay safe. And that actually came from, my childhood. Remember, I left Haiti because we were too big, we were too successful, and we were not safe. And so I carried that with me into my business. And so visible, and it hindered my growth. It hindered the growth of the business, where I wanted to it was like I was speaking to the same people all over and over and over, and they were getting kind of parent death, right? It's like, oh, it's just Kat, she's saying this. But then when I say the same things to a complete stranger, when I go to a networking event, it's like, it's like, oh my God, tell me more. And it was like, oh, okay, you guys still want to hear what I have to say. It's just that my people are parent deaf. Okay, so visibility really, it helps you to expand your message, right? It helps you to yeah, there it is, to expand your message, because the world needs your message, whatever it is that you're doing, whether it's your product. The world needs your gift. And if you don't focus on visibility, you're going to stay small to stay safe, and that's not really serving the world. I don't know, I went on a whole tangent again.
I love it. I mean, you're coming from real experience, and that's why I was so pumped up to have the opportunity
Yeah.
to talk to you, because one of the pillars with Flourish Media Conference is that, we look for women who are actually doing the thing. We look for those business women who have profitability in their business, who are truly experts in their space. And my question to you when it comes to visibility, you talked a little bit about networking and the fact that you're traveling all over the world this year, talking about investing and getting women more comfortable with becoming investors and all of your education and finance and as day trader. How is visibility different for you in person and as it is in the online space? How do you approach it differently, if at all?
Right, good question. With in person, they get to feel my energy, right? I'm the brand, right? In person, I'm the brand. It's like they're buying into me, and they feel, I have this very powerful energy. I'm owning it. Before I would be like, it's not a big deal. Yeah, it is a big deal. So I have this very powerful, inviting energy, and usually, believe it or not, I get clients in person without even trying. And I'll give you an example. And when I was in Colombia, I did this rooftop bar tour. I just wanted to go to a few rooftops and just enjoy, a nice sunset, and just enjoy some drinks. And of course, the people that booked that tour as well, I was mingling with them, and I told them what I do. And one of them was so fascinated. She was like, "Oh my God, I'm a therapist, and with all the stuff that you're saying about, money and money story, all that stuff is true. I want to be a client." Boom, I got a client. So with networking, going back to your question, right? How is it different? With networking, you are connecting with the human, right? You're connecting, especially when you're working with high net worth individuals, right? Because a lot of people see high net worth individuals as a walking bank account, right? Oh, this is the guy with money. Let me rub elbows with him because he's got money. They forget about the human, right? And so when you are networking, it's like you're connecting to that human, and if that human's energy is aligned with yours, it's going to be effortless, right? There's really no real effort needed. Now there's tactics to use, right? The right questions to ask, all of that. But online, it's like what you want to do is you want to bring in that human connection as much as possible, right? As much as possible. And so what does that look like? That looks like being vulnerable, right? Sharing your story. For a long time, I did not want to share my story because a lot of it I had shame and guilt around, right? I remember I took I had $2,000 and I grew that to 25K, and I lost it within a few seconds, right? And so I carried a lot of shame around that, right? But that story in itself is able to let others see themselves in each other and see that, wow, she was able to recover from that. I can do this too, right? And so it's a lot of to answer your question, it's you want to bring in the human touch as much as possible in the virtual world where you don't really get to touch and feel a real person. So bringing on you being vulnerable, telling your story, right, showing behind the scenes. One of some of my best videos, my best reels are when I'm like at the airport or when I'm like eating a street food, somewhere. Like, people love that. They want to see, they want to connect with you, they want to see themselves in you,
That's
basically.
beautiful. And so when it comes to your visibility, in the online space, what are some of the investments that you've made in your visibility that you would recommend to others? For example, we're here on Zoom, and sometimes, you might have a dream to host a international conference, for example, for people all over the world. You want to bring together hundreds of people, but for some reason, you wouldn't pay for the upgrade of Zoom, or you wouldn't pay for whatever fill in the gap technology that's required to actually get your dream. So what are some of the investments that you've made over time in your business that you would say is something that other people should consider?
Right. I will be honest with you. For a very long time, I was not with the Zoom, right? But with the visibility, I always thought, oh, that's not important yet. Like, I'll do that when I'm bigger, right? Right now, I just need to get clients, or I just need to spread this message. And so for a very long time, I didn't. I just had, my basic stuff where I had my name and I had splashed a few colors on there. But recently, I realized that with your visibility, um it's like I said, I was playing small, right? And so for a very long time I didn't. And so recently I invested in a branding company. Actually, we're doing it as we speak, right? But as far as, to be honest with you, I haven't invested in my visibility per se outside of getting branding. I wouldn't even know what that looks like. So I guess that's a question for you. Like, what would that look like to invest in your
Well,
visibility?
Well, when you're investing in your visibility, and thank you for bringing that question back to me, is there's a lot of different ways that we do it, and we're not even aware. For example, the fact that you have a business name and you've acquired that name, that username on all these different platforms, that is an investment of time, because we have our options when it comes to visibility in time versus money, and we have that option in every single part of our business. And so as you are online, writing those articles, posting, taking those pictures, participating in Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of these different avenues, you are investing time into your visibility. And what that looks like on a financial way would be something like you did, which is hiring a professional organization, a company, to help you to create a visibility package, which looks like a brand identity standard, or having someone like a publicist who speaks on your behalf, or investing in ads, for example, on Google or Facebook. Having investing in visibility really could look like as simple as being committed to keeping your physical presence ready to be seen. Some of us
Mhm.
can't show up as our best selves if our hair's not done, if we haven't gotten that facial, if we haven't taken the time to take care of our bodies so that we appear in our ideal weight or shape or whatever that is. All of those things are investments into your visibility because of the fact that you're going to be seen by other people. So, I mean, let's segue all of that conversation about visibility into building your business. Like, the Flourish Media Conference is all about branding, visibility, and funding. And several years ago, we decided to start taking a survey of a very fun question of, how did you originally fund your business? And so I'll pose that question to you. How did you originally fund your business?
Don't kill me. My investments, my own pocket. I know. I
Well,
teach this too.
that's the thing. That is so true for so many women business owners. Is how did we get our business started? Well, we paid for it. That's how we invested.
I paid for it, and I paid the price.
And you know what? I can say right now, truth, hand to God, the way that we invested, the very first Flourish Media Conference was $1,500, and it came from my business partner's boyfriend. He gave us the money, and we wanted to have this event, and he gave us the money, and we had partners who came in and were able to help us. So I think that that's always a fun question. And so rapid fire here, some questions about funding. What have you learned about investing in your business that helps you to flourish?
Ooh, I love that. Investing and coaching. I've done a lot of, thank you for that, by the way. We need to talk because I need to invest more in my visibility. I mean, I have a branding package coming, but then I realize I'm scratching the surface. So after that, you and I need to talk. But to answer your question, coaching has completely changed my life. Yeah, I can't stress this enough. And I don't mean any like just get a business coach who's going to tell you what to do. No, you want to get a coach that's going to challenge you, that's going to help you see the divinity within you, to see the greatness within you. Because a lot of this stuff, half of the time, we don't really need any more strategy. We already know what to do. But we just don't believe in ourselves, or we don't feel like we're good enough, or we don't feel like, oh, this person's doing it, because they're doing it. That's why they're so successful. No, they're doing it because they understand their own power, right? And so having a coach, whether that's a life coach or a mindset coach, or high performance coach, which actually I got my certification in high performance coaching as well, because I realized how important it is in getting my ladies to be profitable investors, right? And so that was the biggest thing for me. Other than that, yes, my branding would be the second biggest thing, because especially you just told me about visibility, so I'm proud that I bought that first package, so I got started. And then also automation. I'm sorry, but we are headed into a world of AI, right? I just met a young lady who's a founder of a Web4 company. Mm-hmm. I know everybody's heard of Web3, so I was like, so what's the difference? So she's like, Web3 is more centered around like cryptocurrency and NFT and like financials and decentralization. Web4 is more centered around AI, right? So you have artificial intelligence that's doing all this. Anyways, I got on a tangent, but like automation, right? Onboarding a client, as soon as the client signs up, or usually I would have to go and send them this and send them that, but having it all automated, right? Especially when they buy your course, right? Sending an automated text message, an automated email, like 7 days later, check on them, how you doing on the course, like all these things. That was one of the best investments. And then hire your weaknesses. I know branding and marketing and creativity is not me. I'm a numbers girl. I give me the numbers, I'll figure it out. But as far as like the creative stuff, I hire out. I hire that out. So
I think
in order really would be coaching. Yes, coaching, visibility, automation, and then hire a team. Yeah.
I hope you're taking notes. And again, if you're watching this on the replay, make sure you put hashtag replay down in the comments. If you're checking this out on YouTube, make sure that you write a comment, and so we can continue this conversation. When it comes to building out your business, having that coach, having the visibility, paying for the branding and hiring your weaknesses, I mean, I couldn't cheer that on more than I am. That is so powerful. That's the difference between having a business that just started to taking your business seriously. Being able to flourish in your business are those key items. Now, I was going to let you go, but I have another question. I have another one. If you were to receive funding in your business right now, an investment from a third-party partner, what would be the first thing that you would invest in?
Hello, visibility. You no, I'm no, like all things aside though, all things aside, like that little tidbit just made me realize, like, Kat, you've been slacking on this, here's the thing with me, right? Coming from being a day trader, right? Teaching myself how to trade. It's just me and the computer, right? It's just me and my charts. I don't have employees. I don't have clients. It's just me and the stock market. But then when I transitioned into teaching, it was a whole different animal, right? And so, yes, I know I'm very savvy. I'm very capable. I'm very skilled on making money, but trading the stock market as a business and running a business where I see clients are two different animals. So I'm still like a little baby when it comes to that, to be honest. I have to admit it. I'm still a little baby when it comes to that. So, your tidbit about visibility made me realize, Kat, you're slacking on this. You need to get that together. So that would be the first thing. I would invest more into expanding my team. I would invest into an assistant coach and also someone to start teaching my classes for me, because as I grow and start looking for more opportunities internationally, I will not be as available as I am. So definitely work on expanding my team. So those are the first two things. Yeah.
That's really exciting. And I'm going to follow up with that. When it comes to Flourish Media and what we do, we are a marketing, training, and development company. We are an agency like none other that teaches entrepreneurs how to spend in their marketing accordingly so that they get the results they want, which we found is to build a joy-focused business, a business that is in alignment, that allows you to have a life outside of your business and allows for you to have the free time to actually enjoy the business that you have built. This has been an amazing conversation. If you're inside of our Facebook group, then go on over and go and find Intelligent Profitable Investors. And if you can't find that, then you can find, what's the new name?
It's going to be International Wealth Builder Society. Don't worry. We're going to transition slowly. There, you'll be able to find us.
Outstanding. Outstanding. It is worth your time to look into growing your wealth, understanding how to spend accordingly, not only in your money, but in your time, so that you can flourish in life and career. Before we end, what is a project or something new that the community should know about from you, and for that, how do they stay in contact with you?
Oh, there's so much. Where do I start? Okay, I'll give you two things. Is that okay? I'm going to give you two things. One easy one and one that's a little bit bigger scale. Okay. So number one, those of you who haven't gotten started with investing or you're intimidated. Okay. So Fidelity right now is giving $150 or, in free money. All you have to do is open up an account with them, fund it with $50 or more, right? That's it, $50 or more. Leave it in there for about 21 days and you will get $150. So that's your first $200 because you will put your own 50 and they will match you 150. That's your first $200 that you can use to buy your first few stocks, right? Or your first stock. And so, how do I get started? Well, start with $50, okay? That's number one. Number two, when we're looking at doing business in other countries. So with Kenya has a free trade agreement with the United States, right? And so with that, there's a lot of government grants, a lot of aid to do business in Kenya. And so there are hotels, like turnkey hotels. There are like apartment buildings right on the beach that are less than $250,000 US, right? And so what you want to do is you want to position it as doing business in Kenya, receive some of that grant, right? Some of that funding, and then use that funding to buy a turnkey hotel or to buy a 10-unit building, right? And monetize that. So that's something that we're working on putting together. So stay tuned for that with the International Wealth Builders Society. So those are two things. The smaller scale is Fidelity. The bigger scale is, buying a building in Kenya.
We love it. We love it. We love it. And one of the things with Behind the Leaf, our 501c3, is that we focus on getting women to the money faster. And it can happen because of a community like this, because of being engaged with women just like this. And I hope that you will take advantage of those two opportunities. My own personal finance, the way that I have started with investing was with Fidelity. So I definitely 10 out of 10 recommend using that company. And if you didn't know, my family is from Nigeria. So I'm all about doing business in Africa. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And if you didn't know, our mastermind group, Made for Millions Mastermind, which is a hybrid mastermind community where we meet 4 times a year, and one of those meetings for 2023 is actually going to be in Tanzania because
right next door.
Yeah, Mama Zara invited us to Tanzania, and I am just super pressed and pumped and putting pressure on anyone who's interested in participating. Then that is a group for you. This has been outstanding, amazing, fantastic, 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Thank you so much for being here with us. Bye-bye.
Bye.